to be doing some maintenance on our 06 Chevy Colorado 2.8 liter. We haven't had a chance to do any kind of sort of maintenance to it besides get some new wheels and tires. What we're gonna do today is replace the spark plugs. Not sure when they were replaced, so just typical maintenance. Want to go ahead and get those replaced and clean the air filter out, and we will be doing an oil change, which we have to go pick up the oil for that. And Tyler's going to be seafoaming the engine, which we do on pretty much every used car that we buy, and it seems to work pretty good. We also need to figure out this weird rattle that we have, and it's weird because it goes away at higher speeds, probably at 60 and above, but it's over on this side somewhere. And we thought that it was suspension related, but it doesn't happen all the time. So it's very weird, and it's like a small clunking. Tyler thought maybe this was hitting the hood, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it's something under this, whether something's just loose, maybe the battery is loose or something. I'm saying something like 10,000 times. So, another word.
It's something.
It's, you know, it's something. It's really something.
So the very first thing that I'm going to do is actually get to the spark plugs, which is underneath all of this. But we're also going to be cleaning the air filter. So I'm going to be disconnecting everything here and showing you guys how to do it. It's just a 4-cylinder, so it should be nice and easy. So we're going to start with the air filter box. It's just 3 clips on ours. Then the air filter actually just kind of pops right out. Air filter looks a little dirty, so we're going to try and clean this up. If not, we will pick up a new one. And we may be taking this out just because of how dirty it is. So if you do want to take it out, it's 1, 2, 3 bolts, and then the entire thing should come up. But if you're not doing that, I'm going to be disconnecting this and seeing if we have any mass airflow sensor cleaner. We had a really weird occurrence when we were driving the car. We were on the highway, you know, 5 o'clock traffic. We went to a stop, and then all of a sudden the engine went from 1500 to 1500 to 500 RPMs, and then just died. Pulled over, put it in park, and was able to fire it back up and had absolutely no issues. So possibly that's one of the reasons why it happened. We're not too sure, but we're going to try and clean up everything to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Disconnect the math, and then we've got this here. I'm going to take all this out, so it's just a hose clamp. It looks like
5/16 probably.
Yeah.
So then you just have to take these 2 clamps off as well to, it looks like, to be able to get this off. So now we just have to take this bolt and this bolt off, which apparently are a 10 mil, at least a 10 millimeter fit. So then now you have your coil packs, which the spark plugs will be under or in, however you want to look at it, I guess. It looks like a 10 mil to take the coil pack off. We're just gonna unplug one, take that off, although it looks like this little cover piece needs to come off to get to the first one.
Yeah, well,
maybe not.
so now I'm putting in the first one. I have a little bit of anti-seize. The gapping on this spark plug is 0.042 inches. It says that that is the stock one, so that's what we're going to utilize for right now. So that's the first one done. Now let's do the other 3.
So I cleaned this up. I ended up taking it off because Tyler wanted to. So I just used some Purple Power. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. And just kind of scrubbed it with a small little scrub brush, and it turned out pretty good. Just wanted to get all the dirt out of here and debris so it didn't get back into the air filter. And I cleaned the bottom side up some. So I'll probably clean where this goes right here. I'll probably clean this area up and vacuum out all these leaves because that's crazy amount.
Yeah, and another thing is because that does have a mass airflow sensor, you want to make sure that everything is dry before you put anything in.
So I'm gonna let this sit in the sun, and if it's not dry by the time we need it, I'll use the air hose and hose it out. There's a lot of burnt oil over here near the fuel rail. I'm thinking that we definitely should do a valve cover gasket because it looks like it's leaking from all around, and Tyler said he thought he saw oil around the spark plugs too, like the whole valve cover gasket is failing. Probably pick one of those up and do that, and then we'll change the oil. So what I'm going to do is take these bolts off. I think there's 3. And Tyler's gonna lift them up while I get all these leaves out, because there's so many leaves underneath these.
So after getting out all those leaves, there's still a little bit of, come on camera.
It's just dark.
Yeah.
You can come from here.
Close enough. But you can see it's a little wet and everything in there. We think that's just from the rains.
From last night.
Well, I was thinking from down in Africa. So Chelsea's just gonna come in here with a wet rag.
We went to Africa last night.
Yeah. Did some, truck racing.
So basically I'm just gonna clean up the dirt. As you can see, there's paint under here. Crazy. I like to clean what I can when I take things off.
You think it's just OCD or?
I don't know. I get this from my mother.
And Chelsea, after she wiped down everything.
I literally just used a wet rag. No soap, no nothing, just cleaning everything up. It looks like all those leaves down here were just holding the moisture, which is why it was so nasty. So I'm gonna put this back, clean a little bit under here. Then we can put the air box back in. So this PCV valve hose is pretty much done. It's cracked and it seems like it's leaking oil everywhere because it's just spider cracked throughout the whole hose, and it's so soft and it's actually bending. So I'll have to find a source for this hose and pick one up. So we need to go get the valve cover gasket and the PCV hose. Once we have those, we'll do those, and then we'll change the oil as well. But for now, Tyler's gonna seafoam the engine.
We bought the aerosol can just to make it a little bit easier. What you want to do is spray this right before the throttle body. Now, with this just being a straight tube to it, I'm gonna take off this side and place this in there, and then essentially seal it right back up. You want to have the tube right before the throttle body. That way it's spraying the throttle body and cleaning it as well. You want to do all this while it's running. So this side right after the MAF. And then this side I'm going to tighten up as well. What you want to do is have the car running. It's a lot easier with someone doing this with you, so I'm gonna have Chelsea hop in. We're gonna start the car, and you're gonna want it to be around 1,000 RPMs higher than idle. So for this truck, it's gonna be about 1,800, and we're gonna hold it there the entire time. With Chelsea, with her foot on the gas, holding it around 2,000 to 1,800 RPM, I'm gonna spray this entire can in. Should take around 5 to 6 minutes. Once the can is completely out, we're gonna take our foot off the throttle, let it go back down to idle, and turn off the car. What that's gonna do is let the seafoam sit onto the top of the piston and the valves and let it, I think it's called heat soak into it, or hot soak. That's gonna help let it penetrate a little bit more. Then we're gonna start the car and drive it around a little bit aggressively to help get off everything. Now with the engine started up, I'm gonna connect up the can. And
And Chelsea's gonna rev it to about 2,000 RPM. Once we're there, we're gonna hold this down for 5 minutes, spraying the entire contents of the can into the engine. Ready? Here we go. Right about now, we're starting to notice that there's smoke coming out the tail exhaust. That's the carbon being burnt off. Now with the can completely empty, we're gonna let this soak for 5 minutes. I'm gonna pull this back out and let that soak in. Now with it soaked for 5 minutes, we're gonna start this up and go and drive it aggressively for 5 to 10 minutes to burn off the rest of the carbon deposit. You do wanna do this in a well-ventilated area, by the way, because this is not the worst one we've done, but this is actually quite light for what I've done in the past. Driving aggressively, take one. Ooh, and she leans into the corner. We're only going 35, don't worry about it.
Meow.
Jesus Christ, woman. These new tires are working.
So what am I supposed to do? Just...
Heavy acceleration.
So should I stop and then accelerate again?
Sure, let's do it. Oh no, there's a kitten in the road.
Oh my god!
Insert kitten here. Oh no, okay, well don't do that. So fast. Is that to the floor?
Probably not all the way now.
Jesus Christ, this thing sucks. Look at this love bug. Oh, there he is. Flying it up. No, he's still on there. So you want to try and drive it aggressively for around 5 to 10 minutes just to help burn off everything that is left on top of the piston, the intake, valves, everything that you really can.